Hey guys, happy freaking hump day. Welcome to back-to-back episodes.
Wow.
This is what it feels like to have a daily pod.
That's what it feels like, guys. So let us know what you think. Let us know if you want us to do it 5 times a week, and there is zero chance we'll actually do it.
Yeah, the real challenge, and I was looking for topics today, it was just a struggle because we're coming off a holiday weekend, so today's like a slow news day.
Yep.
And we're coming off, I think every day is tough. There's just, in my opinion, there are enough things happening, just not enough very interesting things unless we pick like evergreen topics to discuss.
Yep. Okay, well, we got some good stuff.
Yeah.
We squeezed out some good stuff.
Yeah, today's episode's good. It just was hard finding.
Every day would be hard.
I'm saying
Every day would
is
have
hard.
to be max 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In coronavirus, 14,000 people dead.
Yeah, the new total is 14,500. Yeah. Welcome. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you Wednesday.
Okay.
Good luck with your carnival cruise.
Yeah, oh, gosh. Okay, here's the first thing I want to discuss before we get started, because I feel like every now and then, so I think we stir up emotions somewhat frequently in like, our DMs and stuff about the stuff we talk about. But every now and then you get something really special. And usually by special, I mean either a disproportionate number of upset people or people that are upset by something that we think is completely ridiculous.
Yeah. Here's my thing. I'm going to preface it by,
Yep.
I have no problem people disagreeing with me.
And I love it.
That I have no problem with. But when it feels like an attack, then I'm going to attack back.
Attack back!
Yeah.
And we had
I'm
unanimous.
American.
We don't take shit on this podcast.
And we had unanimous agreement on our opinion, which are paper straws are stupid.
Yeah, and also I don't like that he wasn't in my DM, so are you attacking the brown guy?
Yeah.
Ooh.
He was actually on the group chat
Yeah,
DM.
technically group chat DM.
Yeah.
I
But
still think it's
there
a
was a
brown thing.
racial slur at the end.
Ooh.
Namaste.
Yeah.
Whoa. You can't say bye? I don't know English.
Whoa.
I don't know English.
Whoa, buddy. Okay, so what we're talking about is we had a discussion yesterday about plastic straws. We've dissed plastic straws or the lack of plastic straws multiple times on this show. We got into a little discussion about how ridiculous it is that of all the things going on in the world, the thing that actually got removed and banned was plastic straws. We said, and I still stick to this, it's stupid, it's a lack of prioritization.
Yeah.
You can get a big ass plastic cup, but you can't get a plastic straw in it. It greatly diminishes the experience of enjoying your beverage.
Yep.
And it's a joke. And we stick by that. Now, we had a lot of upset Kathys, but one in particular really stood out. And Dee, you gave him the shine. You're not supposed to give the haters shine.
I do.
Okay, you gave him the shine. You posted him on your story. And it just seemed
And he had off-putting language.
very off-putting.
Yeah.
I'm fine with disagreement.
Fat pussy was the word that I saw. And he chose to use PHAT, fat. So that's not saying it's a large.
Yeah. And I also had a problem.
Fat means, PHAT means cool.
You have a cool pussy.
You have a cool pussy.
Cool pussy.
Yeah. Yeah, so he called us fat was he directing at anyone in particular?
I think all of us.
Okay, so we're
No,
fat
well-
pussies. But you wonder what I think is so interesting about this new breed of person that exists is like there's these ultra like sensitive like climate people that will also be super aggressive and like call you a fat pussy.
Yeah.
It's like,
Right.
hey man, I'm not saying anything about the environment, but worrying about straws is one of the most pussy things to worry about
Yes.
in the world.
Yeah, like what kind of car do you drive?
Yeah, and it's just like, come
Do
on.
you eat meat?
Yeah.
Eating meat is not good for the climate.
Yeah,
There's like a million things that people do that are not good for the climate. And there's this amazing article in Wall Street Journal.
Well, hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
Do you want to read this guy's? I think we should read his message.
The whole thing? Yeah.
I mean, at least some highlights.
if I'm going to read, I'm going to read the whole thing.
Read it.
Okay. Longtime listener of the pod and love what you guys cover.
Thank you.
Thank
Just
you.
He
open
baited
with
us in with a
positive-
Yeah,
compliment.
but today's rant on straws was dumb as fuck.
Wow, angry.
I stopped listening to the show and went into my next pod because of the ignorance.
If you're still listening today, hit us up.
Yes. Stop being pre-Madonna, which he spelled incorrectly, Pre-Madonna the singer. So this is life before Madonna. Okay.
It must have been terrible.
He must be old because Madonna's in her 50s.
Yeah.
Stop being pre-Madonna,
Okay.
pussy, and go out and get a reusable straw or go to fucking Whole Foods and buy yourself a box of some plant-based ones.
I mean, that is the most confused statement I've ever heard.
Okay.
Stop being such a pussy and go to Whole Foods and get yourself some plant-based, you know?
It's a fucking epidemic, fellas. You guys are sharp as nails, but also big, fat, PHAT pussy when it comes to being environmentally conscious. You have a voice, fellas, and it's universally heard. Buck the fuck up. Namaste.
Yeah, the namaste throws me
Namaste
off.
was racist, yeah.
That was a racial slur.
Yeah, that was a racial slur. If boomers...
You might as well just call me the N-word.
Yeah, if boomers a
That is
slur...
an N-word.
Yeah. The N-word. The other N-word. Namaste. Okay, well, listen. Weird.
And
Weird
here's the
message.
thing is, I get, like, here's the problem is that the media has blown American plastic consumption up as one of the main problems of the climate change when it comes to plastic. And there are numerous studies. I posted one on my Instagram that's getting an Instagram story that a lot of people are swiping up for. And it shows that it's really rooted specifically in Asia and in Africa that there are certain rivers that are dumping plastic into the ocean at such an alarming rate that are causing all these problems. The plastic usage in America isn't, I'm sure it has an effect, but nowhere near to the real problem of single-use plastic in other countries.
And my problem is, why the straws?
Yes.
The straws are the littlest part of the beverage. Look at this.
Look at this. You're using this. So Drama's drinking coffee bean right now. Big ass plastic cup with a reusable straw.
It's ridiculous. It's like if plastic is the issue. I thought it was because we were killing turtles because their little beaks were getting caught in here. I thought
When
that
is the
was
last time anyone's even seen a turtle?
No, man.
Like,
but
where are turtles?
Anyway, it's just
Sea
priorities.
turtles?
Where do you see turtles?
In
They're
the
out
sea.
there. They're out there seeing around.
The one place I've seen turtles in California is in that canyon when you take Beverly Drive all the way up to Beverly Hills. I forgot what it's called.
Coldwater?
Yeah,
Benedict.
it's not Coldwater, but whatever the canyon, there's a park up there. They have turtles.
Yeah, but we're talking about sea turtles.
Exactly.
Anyway, we're
there's
off
a lake
topic.
turtle.
We're off topic. The point is, it's not, I don't know, you don't get the full picture with these things.
Yeah.
You get like a bandwagon thing. What's the thing about the plastic bags?
So there was a commentary in Wall Street Journal saying plastic bags aren't the problem. And what the writer is saying is that plastic, he called them plastic warriors, are so concerned about certain things that gets like public outcry, like straws, and it's a scare tactic to get people to do something. So everyone went and banned plastic straws when that's not the biggest problem. And in fact, because people think they're actually doing something by not using plastic straws, the real problem isn't being solved. And so it's actually dangerous that banning things that don't actually have a real impact on the environment is dangerous because you're not understanding what the real problem is. And look, I'm all for forwarding the way we do things. The problem is that the straws people are using are unacceptable. And when I buy a $12 drink, I want a good straw. My friend, Wally, who runs a vegan restaurant, suggested bamboo straws. I've actually had bamboo straws. Phenomenal. But they're expensive.
Yeah. And, you're not gonna
And then
carry them
he
around.
even went on to tell me the actual person that started this whole fuckery of...
I've had the bamboo straw. You know who has it? The Henry
Yeah.
on Robertson. They have the bamboo straw.
So boba guys...
expensive.
Boba
I'm
guys...
sure it's a little more expensive for the restaurant to carry.
Yeah. So Boba Guys in San Francisco is responsible for a single-use plastic straw ban, which led to adoption nationwide. He goes, if you're looking for someone to blame, we should blame Boba Guys. We should boycott this place.
Yeah.
Not that I'm a big Boba guy.
Is boba
I had
still
them
a thing?
once.
I'm already boycotting it.
Yeah.
Never been. Don't plan
I
on
had
it.
boba in high school. I wasn't a fan.
It's fine. I feel like girls like it. Like they like.
It
It's-
was a crazy trend when I was in high school.
Yeah, in high school, it was huge.
All I ever
Everyone's
hear
like
is
boba.
girls like, "Let's go to Earth and get some boba." You know, it's very big.
Is matcha boba a combination? I feel like that feels
Seems
like,
like
a
it would
hot
be.
combination.
Yeah. That's
I
a
think
good
you're asking the wrong crowd, but it seems big.
That's a good Instagram moment.
Yeah. So anyway, you plastic warrior, stay out of our DMs.
Yeah.
You little bitch.
Let's see if he's still listening.
Yeah, we'll find out. He said he stopped.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to talk about some news?
Yep.
Let's talk about the Boy Scouts in some hot water. They are seeking Chapter 11 protection. I didn't realize that they had a bunch of sexual abuse.
What do you
lawsuits.
think happens when some weird older guy goes with 14 little boys anywhere?
Into the woods,
Unfortunately,
deep into the woods.
deep
With
into the
no,
woods.
no cell phone connection.
Yeah.
I mean,
Put your
al-
smartphones away, boys.
Come on, boys. We're starting a fire today.
And you know what's funny is that when I was growing up, we were into Boy Scouts. We played sports, and there was obviously a particular type of kid that was into Boy Scouts, like kind of like, a little more antisocial, like looking for friendships, whatever. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool that there's this like community that like caters to those people that aren't into sports, that aren't into, because like if you were a boy in like the 80s, you played sports. There was no like gender neutral club to hang out at. You played sports. That was it. And then as I got older, I was like, it's kind of weird. Like this kind of guy wearing short shorts and like a weird ascot is taking these boys into the woods.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, whenever you take the Catholic Church, you take Boy Scouts, and you take any organization where, like, unfortunately, there is an adult taking children anywhere, always fucked up stuff happens.
Well, yeah, because the sad thing is, I'd love to see a Malcolm Gladwell book about this. It's like, I'm sure a lot of people have the right intentions, but it also
Yes.
has to be just a honeypot
Yeah.
if you're a little creepy.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm just going
Yeah.
to be a Boy Scout troop leader.
Yeah, I don't even understand, like, being a parent now, I don't even feel like if the school says we're going on a field trip somewhere, I'm like, I don't think so. Like, and knowing what I know about the world, like, I can't trust anybody.
Little Dommy's not going anywhere with any grown-ass man. No.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Like, I don't, and it sucks that that's how the world we live in, because you can't trust people anymore. But it's like the Boy Scouts always sounded sketch to me, and now it's going bankrupt because they're facing so many lawsuits from sexual abuse that, like, that's so fucked up.
You know,
They're
and-
ruining kids' lives.
You know what's interesting is we hear no stories about Girl Scouts. And I have a theory.
Please give it to us.
The cookie machine generates billions and billions of dollars. And I feel like they're just suppressing the stories. They have to be. Why is it unique to boys and it's not happening
Because
in
I
girls?
just don't think girls
Men
touch
are
little
just
girls
creepy.
at the same rate.
Men are creepy.
I don't think if you looked at the rates, I'm curious, but of like female on female molestation, if you will, of youth, is it
Nowhere
the same?
near.
There's no way.
There's no way.
But we're hearing the Boy Scouts is like countless number of accusations. You're telling me the Girl Scouts is just zero?
It may not be zero, but
It's just low. It's just.
I don't
But I'm
Women are
telling
just-
you, that cookie mafia, that monopoly on cookies,
I like
is
the
a
theory.
big business.
I love the
I
theory.
just don't see it. Like, you don't hear the stories of women abusing other young women like you hear men abusing.
Men are just disgusting.
Men are the worst.
Like my question was, does being a Boy Scout troop leader turn you into having pedophile tendencies, or does it
you gravitate
encourage?
to it. Yeah.
Because like, are men just so creepy and
So
terrible
I
that
have
like you spend enough
one
years?
anecdote from our high school, Granada Hills High School, when we were there, or I was there, I think you'd already graduated. One of the teachers was sleeping with a student. It was a special needs student and a non-special needs teacher, meaning she was fully functioning.
Yeah.
She and he got it.
And she was the creep and was sleeping with this 14-year-old special needs student. And it was a huge scandal in the valley, and she obviously got fired. I don't even know if she went to jail. I think
There
she just
is
got fired.
something about female teachers sleeping with like.
That happens nowhere near the amount of times a male anything
That's
does
true.
anything.
That's true. But that is a common story.
Yeah, it is, but it's just nowhere near.
But that's still girl on guy.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
don't think you don't. I can't remember ever hearing about a grown woman.
molesting a young woman.
Yeah,
That's only in that one show, Orange.
is the new black?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but of course. I mean, that's like prison life. Different rules.
Yeah, this isn't the Girl Scouts.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, shit. I had no idea, but they got to find something like cookies to sell.
Well, no, I think they shouldn't exist.
You need a mission, though.
Or everyone just needs a camera.
But here's the thing. This is why capitalism is good. You have a good mission. You're generating some revenue. You don't have time to get all pervy. You're just out there playing with your sticks and starting fires.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know Girl Scouts, but our Girl Scout are there trips where you go into dark forests and just nothing else is there?
Beverly Hills Troop is my exposure.
Yeah,
That movie.
they look like a fun time.
Yeah, I think they're just selling cookies. But that's what I'm saying. You need a revenue goal.
Yeah.
If you have no goal and you're just out there like, oh, you get the Explorer badge today, Johnny.
Yeah.
You get some personal time with your scout leader.
Yeah. Guess what? You get to explore, Johnny.
No. Okay. Well, anyway.
You know what scares me? Like Taekwondo. Teachers touching little boys, little karate.
Probably happens.
Yeah.
Like, no, lift your leg like this.
Yeah.
Why are you grabbing my jaw?
Yeah.
Like, let's do a flying kick.
Yeah. Someone actually recommended that to me. Just put them in Taekwondo karate. I was like, I'm
No,
good.
you got to be careful. Okay. Next up, let's talk about the fact that, so there's this whole generation, obviously, of teenagers these days grew up, this is hard to even imagine for me, grew up with social media. It's just always been a part of their life. They probably got cell phones at extremely young ages. They probably started messing around on Instagram very young. And so it's like, there's been a lot of like questions and studies and people looking at teen social media use. One of the things that's coming up this week that I thought was worth talking about is teens are posting Instagram photos and then deleting them right away. Mm-hmm. And they're saying that this is because of the overwhelming pressure, bullying, you got to make sure you present yourself well, everyone's worried about their personal brand. It's interesting. It seems like teens, like a random teen in middle America feels the pressure that like only a celebrity used to.
Yes.
You know, like what are my followers going to think of my selfie?
I also think they're also thinking about school. They're thinking about college. They're thinking about jobs they potentially could have to go for. So, I think it's why Snapchat was so popular, because it was a way for people to communicate that was very temporary. Mm-hmm. And what they're saying is that the feed itself is being heavily curated, and posts sometimes go up hours, sometimes a few months, and they only keep the posts that have to live there because it's family, friends, supporting, but like they're not trying to share their whole life. And they use either the close friends feature or they have a Finsta. Mm-hmm. And for those that don't know what a Finsta is, it's your fake Instagram where you pretty much have your 20 closest friends and you're posting whatever the hell you want recklessly on there. God knows it's, probably a Boy Scout master's dream.
Oh, no. Gosh, man. Oh, man.
But I mean, everything the article is outlining is everything you would believe.
Yeah.
Because Instagram is almost like the first day of school, but every single day, where everyone tries to have the freshest fit, freshest sneakers, whatever they're trying to curate. And now it's just every post, it has to be, I mean, we're not teens. People our age are specifically curating every single post.
I'll tell you my only recent, so there was a family, we were at Runyon Canyon yesterday hiking, and there was like a family of like 6, there was parents, and I think there was like 3-4 kids, like brother, sister. And the oldest brother, he's probably like 14. He wanted to post something on TikTok. And then the youngest daughter, who was like 8, was trying to videotape him doing it. And watching, I mean, it turned into a full-blown argument. They fought. They were just like, we're not doing this right here. You don't understand. She goes, why are you trying to shoot a music video? It's 8 seconds. Blah, blah, blah. And they're just, the tenseness of this conversation. This is at 9 in the morning at Runyon Canyon, of this family fighting. The mom is stepping in. And I mean, I'm assuming this kid has no followers, too.
I mean, honestly,
listen, buddy, let me check your follower count. I can guarantee you no one gives a shit about your stupid video.
I honestly think social media for kids is worse than like letting soda in the schools.
Way worse.
Yeah.
I
Right?
would
Bring
say,
the
like, I'd
sodas
almost
back.
rather them Juul.
Yeah.
Like, I thought you were going to say cigarettes.
Yeah.
No, but like you can't even find sodas in school. We all drank sodas. We turned out fine, but we didn't have social media when we were kids.
I think back where I'm from, there's soda machines on in every hallway, I think.
I think I have a radical suggestion for social media.
Give it to us.
Up until you're 18 years old, you can't post on the feed.
Story?
Only stories.
Or you should just be banned from the platform.
No.
I would say social media is as dangerous for a young person as anything.
You shouldn't be able to publish content until 18.
But you can consume.
I think, look, think about all the stories that we know of celebrities losing their shit. And I don't even mean we, I mean the world knows those stories. That's not secret.
Yeah.
I think a huge part of why celebrities lose their shit and why it's so hard to be a celebrity is because of the pressure, especially child stars, because of the pressure of what people are thinking about you.
Yeah.
It seems like now every kid has a little bit of that. And I have to believe that long term, there's like real negative effects.
Yeah. I'm curious. I mean, I'd love to hear someone that has grown up. So let's say they're a senior in high school now. So they had the beginning of Snapchat, like the rise of Snapchat, Instagram, and TikTok.
Yeah, their entire adolescent has been
like,
popular social media platforms.
Yeah, and so curious to see how they actually, are we just making that up? They actually don't care. Like, obviously media also wants to get people's attention that every teen is crumbling. I don't know, I see teenagers walking around all the time. They seem pretty happy.
Yeah, but you also just saw two crumble on running.
Yeah.
I
That
will
was a
say,
TikTok video.
the TikTok revolution, you just drive around in public and there's little kids dancing everywhere on the
But
street.
that's why I think
Little
TikTok,
e-boys and e-girls.
Yeah.
the good thing about TikTok is that it is raw and it's just about having fun and you don't have to look perfect. Whereas Instagram, you got to look good.
Yeah, but I'm just telling you that to a little kid, you have to perfectly look not perfect.
Got it. To be like
Like the the
Yeah.
fake laugh and the oh my
Yeah.
god, I'm so silly, and like
Yeah.
no, that wasn't silly enough.
Yeah.
Do it over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's I don't know. I'd love to. There'll be some good books about it that I'll tell you guys about in about 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
It would be an interesting stat because obviously TikTok would be the only ones to actually know this. How many recorded cancel
Oh my
loops
God.
It's probably mind blowing.
Yeah. Even I've
per
seen,
post? Like, is it
Abandoned.
10 per one, 20 per one?
Yeah, like abandoned carts. You
Yeah.
know, like how many? I bet you it's insane.
when I'm on a plane or like some place where I'm like everyone's on their phone going somewhere, I look at how all people, this is all ages, how hard and long they take to post something on social media.
Yeah.
It is nuts. Like, I mean, Pete and I just post my stuff. It's just like, yeah, post it, write this, let's go. Like,
Yeah.
but like people think so much, like hours. I saw one flight. This woman took all flight to finally pick,
How old was she?
late 20s, early 30s.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
it's- yeah.
there's also like the planner apps that people who have no following will go in and they'll talk about how they shape their Instagram. They'll put all the photos in ahead of time just
Yeah.
to see what it looks like.
Yeah.
And then that's when they put it out, take it down, shape it.
That's what I don't
rechange it.
understand, even about young people. If you have no followers, who cares?
Because it's the lucrative life of like what these
yeah,
influencers
but those 50
live.
kids, it's like going into class every day. If you have 50 followers, that's like walking into a classroom and getting in front of the class and doing something that you're ashamed of or embarrassed of.
I also think just everyone is worried about their personal brand. Like the
crazy.
personal brand conversation is more I mean, everyone talks about it.
Yeah.
Whereas before it was only someone with a brand.
You're
or a
12. What's
celebrity.
your brand?
I'm telling you, you could literally go
TikTokers.
to most 12-year-olds and be like, what's your personal brand? They're like, well, let me see.
Let me tell you
I'm a fun-loving,
I'm an
e-boy.
e-boy.
E-boy. Fashion. I'm mostly known for fashion.
Yeah. What do you wear? A Hollister.
Oh, Hollister, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really starting to get into skits lately. It's been really going really well. My sister's been filming some dance moves. It's growing. Okay. All right. Good place to put a couple ads. And we're back. Let's talk about the life of a Trump supporter. Aubrey Huff.
Not to be confused with Aubrey Graham.
Not to be confused, please, with Aubrey Graham. Aubrey Huff is an ex-MLB baseball player. He is a very outspoken Trump supporter. He's posted many absolutely absurd things. We've talked about him before on this podcast, including some things that are, I would say, straight up racist.
Let me give you a recap
Give
of
us a
few of them.
sampling.
He said when you talked about kidnapping Iranian women, let's get a flight over and kidnap about 10 each.
There
we
we
can
go.
bring them back here as they fan us and feed us grapes,
Yep.
amongst other things.
That's the racial stuff. And misogynist. And just about everything
A lot of bad stuff in that tweet.
Yeah, a lot of
I
bad
can't
stuff.
really, there's nothing redeeming.
No, there's nothing positive.
Yeah.
Okay, so he has been banned by the San Francisco Giants for they're doing like a reunion celebration.
For the 2010 World Series crew.
And they voted leave the racist out. And
Yes.
so now it's causing an uproar, like, because of course, the Trumpers are going to be like, how dare you?
Yeah.
He's making America great again. And then he's like, fuck you. It's probably the brown people.
Yeah.
So there's a whole hoopla.
Yeah.
So what do we think?
I mean, San Francisco Giants are a private organization. If they don't want to be affiliated with them, they can do that. They're like, if like we threw a party and we had an ex-employee that we didn't like, we have the right to not invite them. I mean,
Absolutely.
we do that. So is it the best thing for their business and their brand? Because all these apparently like MAGA Giant supporters are like, we stand with you, Aubrey. Like it's obscene on both sides because first of all, he made those comments and people are trying to say it's because he supports Trump. It's not because he supports Trump.
Yeah.
It's because he said those things. No one would have, if he was just, like, oh, I support Donald Trump. He's my president and I'm voting for him. They would have still invited him.
Of course.
You just said some racist shit and now everyone is trying to spin it like because you're a Trump supporter, you are now banned from celebrating.
But that's what's so weird about, like, that's really what happened to kneeling.
Yeah.
Right. So the MAGA sports writers said, Colin Kaepernick, you're part of a private organization.
Yeah.
If they say you stand, and that could potentially cause your employment status to change if you don't, then stand. Otherwise, face the consequences. So it's the exact same thing.
But let me also say why it's the exact same thing. The Trumpers changed the narrative to what he actually meant was disrespect for the country when he made it very clear that it wasn't. Like, there's this weird thing going on where grown-ass adults are just, instead of supporting, like, truth or any sort of good or bad behavior, they're just choosing their side and skewing it however they want to skew it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and he put out a statement claiming it was satire, and he's trying to say, but you said awful things. And if your old teammates don't want to hang out with you, unfortunately, that's their choice.
Yeah.
And to draw it any further than like the San Francisco Giants are anti-Trump, because it's a large organization. There's definitely Trumpsters in the organization.
For sure.
Right? And it's just a misleading story that's being presented.
What I don't get is if I was a Trump supporter, I would say, look, I am a Trump supporter. I'm not a racist. This guy should be out.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, you're just making yourselves look bad. Like, what? It's so weird.
Yeah, like everyone just doesn't understand like the semantics of explaining yourself when it comes to politics. People think we're blowing things out of proportion when in actuality it is in line. If it was the other way and a liberal person said something racist about a white person in some capacity, they probably would be treated accordingly. Yeah. Like, you would not be included. It just shows this is just a further challenge of like everything in America right now is like so politically charged. So we don't want politics in our sports or entertainment, but if you do bring it in, you are torched. Mm-hmm. And it's really tough because all this does is, if you're liberal, you're going to triple down on liberal beliefs. If you're conservative, you're going to triple down on that and say, you know what, these guys are crazy. And the liberal guys are saying, these guys are crazy. Mm-hmm. And now no one is anywhere better off than we were 15 minutes ago.
And with specifics to Aubrey Huff, I know multiple baseball players that know him, and he's fallen out of favor with a lot of ex-players because of the shit he says. So this isn't Trump. This isn't Trump versus Democrats. This is a guy that says a lot of bad stuff.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with his support for Trump.
It's so weird. We just lost our minds.
Yeah.
You know?
And in the line of Trump, he is in our backyard right now at the Montage in Beverly Hills.
Ooh.
And I just got a text from Anthony, huge crowds.
Yeah.
And he's
Huge.
like, I guarantee you we know people that are there.
Yeah.
He's half a mile down the road?
Yeah.
Traffic must be terrible.
Oh, yeah, I think it's shut down.
What about, he's pardoning people? Is pardon season?
Yeah.
Does pardon like time come around, or did he
It's typically at the end of your administration, you just get a
Like,
slew of pardons.
start early?
Like literally, it usually happens like the day you're leaving or the day before. Like Bill Clinton pardoned a couple shady people on his last day.
But
And
what
that-
happens? Trump just doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, and here's what I think it is. So first, Trump is the people that he did pardon today. A lot of people, mainly financial crimes folks. So
Course.
Michael Milken, Eddie DeBartolo, which is the old 49ers owner who bribed a governor. Michael Milken, if you don't know, was just mega financial criminal. Then we have the former governor of Illinois, and the list goes on with a bunch of people, mainly in financial crimes. Manafort, Paul Manafort, Roger Stone, and what's the other guy's name? That went to jail. I forgot.
Manafort and Stone.
Yeah, I said
Stone's
Manafort.
getting sentenced
Yeah.
soon, but Manafort's
And some,
big.
I forgot whoever the last person is, blanking my mind. Anyways, so people think he's setting up to slowly figure out how to pardon these people. Because once you pardon like these mega financial crimes people,
Yeah.
then like the Russia stuff is kind of petty.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, if you think about it objectively, if you're him, pardon whoever the hell you want.
Yeah.
You publicly admitted to violations that got you impeached, got acquitted.
Yeah.
There's no consequence to anything you do.
Yeah.
What are you waiting on?
I
I
don't
think
even think it would hurt.
Like
His
Bernie
reaction.
Madoff.
Let him out. love the movie.
posthumously let go Jeffrey Epstein.
Why not, man? Pull him out. That'd probably be better for your base.
I mean, at this point, I don't get why there's any hesitation
Yeah.
for him to do anything.
Yeah.
Because he is proven whatever he does, as crazy as anything he does or says, it absolutely does not matter when it comes to his support.
Yeah. Yeah, we've lost our minds. The country's lost its mind. Because do people usually do this right before re-election?
I mean,
No,
the
it's
other
really-
the other thing
Isn't it
could
the
be
end of
like,
your
hey, let's
final
just
term?
pardon a bunch of billionaires so I could load up on campaign donations.
Yeah. Because now you'd want to support
Because
it.
How you
Mini
can fund
Mike
your
is
whole
out here
campaign.
spending.
Yeah.
Mini Mike? Yeah, the bank account ain't mini.
And montage, he'd probably have the richest people in LA and be like, anyone need a pardon?
Just tell me.
It's $5 million. $5 million bucks to give you a pardon.
Now's the time.
Yeah.
We're raising money.
I mean,
Okay.
that's literally how it works.
Yeah, it just seems weird. I thought it was always like, hey, when like your second term is over or like whatever, like you go nuts, but
Yeah.
not right before re-election. Half a year before.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was speculating it could be like a fundraising opportunity. Like all these guys still have a lot of money.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever. Okay. How about this? The Correspondents' Dinner is coming up. White House Correspondents' Dinner, April 25th. It looks like your boy Hassan Minaj will be performing again. And also, it will be hosted by none other than Kenan Thompson.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Is he getting lit up? What are people saying about this?
So, no, I mean, like Kenan Thompson and Hassan Minaj are the two kind of co-hosts.
I think Keenan's the host, and then he gives the kind of 25-minute roast.
The roast.
Yeah.
And Trump hasn't gone to the last two, right? He hasn't shown up.
He
to any
hasn't
of them.
shown up since he's been president.
And I mean, there's no point for him to go. He
No.
literally destroys all these people.
Because think about it, the point of the dinner is for,
The press, right?
the press.
Yeah.
And the press is the enemy of the people, according to President Trump.
Yeah.
So why would he show up to a bunch of enemies of his?
I
Yeah,
agree.
yeah, yeah.
Smart move. Don't show up.
Yeah. Yeah. He'll be out pardoning his homies.
Yeah.
Too busy.
Yeah. But yeah, it'll be fun. It's if you they're all really, really good. If you look at previous years on YouTube, they're like hysterical. All the hosts have done a phenomenal job. Like people really prep for it. I've never seen Kenan Thompson in this setting, like stand-up comedy setting. So it'll be interesting to see how he does.
Yeah.
It's a big look for him. So it'll be fun. I'm sure it'll be good.
I mean, and just to like how bad the country's kind of unraveled in the last few years. Like if you look at White House Correspondents' Dinners from like 8 years ago, 6 years ago even, it's clearly bipartisan. Sure, you have either a Democratic president or a
But
Republican
even
president.
George Bush post-war showed up and got roasted.
Yeah, and I mean, there's most famous Correspondents' Dinner is when they unleashed on Donald Trump in I think 2014-15, and everyone says that's the moment he
Yeah.
said, fuck you,
Yeah,
I'm going to be
You can
president.
see it in his eyes.
Yeah.
There was a shot of him
Yeah.
where he's like, all right, I'm burning this motherfucker down.
Yeah.
And there you go. So thanks a lot, Barack.
Yeah.
Okay. The other thing I wanted to ask you guys, this seemed relevant to our listeners. HSBC is saying they're going to cut 35,000 jobs and 100 billion of assets. Now, this seems to me like an important topic. Seems a little alarming. Am I right? What did we take from this?
So they have 200,000 employees.
Okay.
They're going to reduce it by over 15% in the next 3 years. They're going to close a third of its U.S. branches and focus on resources in the Middle East and Asia. This is all pre-corona impact. They are so big in Asia. Like when you travel anywhere in Asia,
And
HSBC
Europe.
and Europe, they have such a major impact. The one thing I do like about HSBC, they have the best ad campaigns.
They have great ones. So
Really?
basically, when you
Yes.
travel anywhere,
Every
any
airport.
major city in Europe or Asia, when you walk off the plane, there's the, what do they call it, the gateway or
Yeah.
between the terminal and
Yeah.
there's always HSBC ads.
Yeah, and they have great ads.
Usain Bolt, he's been on every ad around
Yeah.
the world for the last.
Yeah, just the storytelling. But I think this is just a bank issue. First of all, the concept of a physical branch for a bank should not exist. Like, we all bank. Who the hell is walking up into a branch as often as we did 10 years ago?
Right.
I understand there needs to be some branches, but like there's like Wells Fargo, Chase, and Bank of America on every corner in this city in the best real estate locations. I walk into Wells Fargo, there's no one ever in there. And they have like 8,000 square feet on Sunset.
And you know what the irony is? You still get no service.
Yeah. Shit service.
Shit service and a bunch of fake accounts.
Yeah. Criminals.
Criminals.
And so I think this is the beginning of like the banking industry. They have to close branches.
Yeah.
And that real estate needs to get repurposed for something else. Because-
Restaurants.
Sure, like shitty restaurants with no straws. Like sign me up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I just think that banking is so bloated in physical retail. Like, I mean, if you live in New York City or LA or San Francisco or Chicago, when you actually walk and you see how many bank branches, there's one on every single corner in every single major intersection in LA.
Yeah, just go down Beverly Hills.
Yeah. What are all those? Why do you need all those branches?
Every corner building has a bank at the bottom.
Yeah.
A lot of money. You know?
Yeah, and the problem is we're heading towards a cashless society. Mobile banking has gotten more sophisticated. I understand there are certain issues that can only be resolved in a physical branch. You just don't need this many. You got to make people go far further away to solve their problem.
I agree. Okay. Close it up.
Close them up.
All right, let's talk about, we talked about yesterday, Apple officially said that the coronavirus will have an effect on their earnings. It looks like now we're starting to see a little bit of how that will affect, there's a lot of third-party companies that make chips and make parts for the iPhones. So obviously it's going to have this trickle-down effect and affect everyone.
Pete, not potato chips. Don't worry.
Pete, don't you
Those
worry.
are still made in
Your
America.
Doritos will be fine. We actually checked.
Thank you.
Yep. So what's going on? I mean, this seems like it could be pretty bad. Pretty bad.
It's just it's a cascading effect that it's crazy. The stock market really hasn't been truly affected. If Apple says it's slowing, then think about all the industries that affects, right? Like all the manufacturers of the parts, all the people that work there, their jobs, and then what they purchase. There's just a huge impact. And then you think about retail. Not only do Apple's products are sold in Apple stores, they're sold at Best Buy, they're sold at Verizon, they're sold at T-Mobile. It has such a major impact that this one brand has said it. We know if Apple is being affected, this is almost like the Teflon Don of companies. You can't live without an iPhone. What do you think is going to happen to a Nike, a Starbucks, things that you can live without? That you're not going to purchase when things get tough, or if they don't have the new Nike shoe, okay, whatever, like you're going to go on with your day. You can't live without an iPhone. You literally physically cannot live without it if in today's society. So I'm just very shocked that the market really hasn't collapsed at any, and it hasn't even shown a sign of real weakness yet. And it's going like, think about all the industries that are being affected. The fact that most of China is shut.
So the
It's
only
so crazy. The stock market seems fake.
Yes.
So the only explanation of why the stock market hasn't taken a dip and all these companies aren't hurting because from the stock price perspective is this affects everyone universally. So if this only persists for a quarter, everyone will come together and say, hey, it's a one-time thing. We all got affected. Let's not punish anyone. The real problem is if it starts cascading into 2, 3, 4 quarters down the road, then you have real problems, meaning Apple has to lay off people. Everyone else, the third-party guys, literally get squeezed out because they're the lowest margin on the totem pole when it comes to the production of these things. Apple holds the most margin. So the real, I think the stock market's in a wait and see. Like we already know Q2's fucked. What about Q3 and Q4? And if it starts getting into then you start seeing massive layoffs. And I think everyone's just, because everyone's in the same boat, no one's panicking because everyone is incentivized to keep the party going.
I feel like they know something we don't. It feels like when Bernie Madoff was sending out fake statements.
Yeah.
You know? Feels like this whole thing's a sham.
I don't understand it because the other side of it, like Japan is announcing like it's a ghost town. Tourism is
Because they're about to come on their busiest part of the year, which is the cherry blossom season. And I mean, I think rationally people are just going to rethink their visit. Let's wait a year.
Well, our buddy Phil was telling us about Chinese restaurants in New York City, which I said it seriously that I don't think people are going to go eat at Chinese restaurants because that's how simple we think. And he said Chinatown restaurants in New York City somewhere down 50%.
It's crazy.
That's insane.
Didn't you say some off the record stuff and blew him up a few weeks ago on the pod?
Yeah, we did.
So there you go.
Sorry,
Phil. Now Phil.
Sorry, Phil.
Phil's bringing Chinese people down now.
Phil's going to face the wrath of 1.5 billion Chinese people.
Yeah, so take that, Phil. Sorry, man. We're just killing your whole personal brand here on our show.
You have to say off the record when you start.
When you talk to journalists?
Yeah.
Come on, we're media now.
Yeah.
Okay, here's another thing that I just wanted to point out while we're talking about stocks. I don't know if you guys know this or not. A friend of ours is a fan of Group Chat. I found this out today.
Yeah.
A fan of Group Chat. Listens to our show. Does very well for himself. Based on our talks, which I want to clarify again, we are not certified stock advisors. Based on our conversations, bought a shit ton of Tesla stock at like 200, made, and then got out at the top, made $87,000.
That's crazy.
So I'm looking for a commission.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I'm hoping we can get a kickback.
Free meal, something.
But I mean, Group Chat, I mean,
Send us on a vacation.
it's risky. I wouldn't recommend doing that very often, but like, man, it paid off for that guy.
That's amazing.
So,
Good for him.
yeah. But
Some
that being
people get
said,
rich.
we are not registered. I know there's some legal stuff we should be saying here, but I don't know
Yeah.
what it is exactly.
You are not a registered sex offender.
That either. Neither that. Okay, let me talk about a stock not to buy. Blue Apron. Blue Apron's been in the dumps for quite some time. It looks like they're considering a
They are
sale.
toast.
We'll take it.
Thank you.
It looks like they're considering a sale, a merger, something to try to get themselves out of trouble. Do we care?
We don't really care.
Okay, so
They
you
are
never-
a subscription food business that had a lot of hype a few years ago, went public. Even when it went public, everyone kind of said, this business doesn't make sense. And now sales have dropped 30%. They're running out of cash. The market cap is like 50 some odd $50 million.
And to be clear, their last private valuation was over $2 billion. And people got out along the way. Don't get it twisted.
I'm no math genius.
Sounds like they're cooked.
Yes. Baked. Fried.
Sounds like they're fried. Oh, man, what a shit show. I mean, I remember Blue Apron was like the coolest thing ever. And I actually think, you wouldn't know what? This is kind of messed up, but I think I did an ad read for them or something. And I got
Make
a couple
sure you got
samples.
paid.
Yeah, I did.
I signed up. I did it.
Everyone signed up. We
was
all
cool.
did 3 months of Blue
But I'm
Apron.
going to be honest, it was really cool. It came to my house and I never actually made it.
Yeah.
I was so excited I never made it.
Yeah.
It's
The
hard to compete with
excitement
Postmates.
overwhelmed you.
Yeah, I was so excited. I let the steak go bad. Anyway, and then another one is Pier 1 Imports. Looks like they filed for bankruptcy. I mean, this just seems like, I don't know. This seems like Amazon just would destroy a place like this.
Pier 1 is an interesting business. There is probably a need for home goods to still exist at retail. They just are shit at doing it. And I don't think they've given customers a reason to shop there. It's also been piled on with debt from years of just mismanagement. Because the counter to it is a business like, they're not exactly the same industry, which is restoration hardware.
On fire.
On complete fire. But like,
But isn't Pier 1 a little bit more like generic?
it's also a little tchotchke. It's like,
Yeah, like I can get my freaking candle holder on Amazon.
but like IKEA is thriving at physical retail.
yeah, but
like,
IKEA has a different, like that's why I think Pier 1 is like random.
Yeah.
It's not, doesn't have the brand or the like design that Restoration Hardware does. It's just random shit for your house.
Yeah.
You need a picture frame, a candle,
Yeah.
and an alarm clock? Come
Yeah.
on down to Pier 1.
Yeah.
Or
I-
just go to Amazon like everyone else in the
And I think the thing about it is, in this category, I think retail should exist, and I think it will exist. I just think they just didn't do it right. Like, I don't think all retail should be gone, but I think in home goods, like retail can win, because people really want to touch and feel that stuff, and it's very much something where you're walking the aisle and you're picking up things. They just blew that. They just didn't come with the times.
Okay.
It's just, I mean, all this real estate has to get repurposed at some point, and real estate across all the metropolitan cities have never been higher. Don't you think there's going to be a squeeze? Like,
On real estate?
yeah, like all these things can't get repurposed into high rent paying tenants.
Yeah, you would absolutely think so. I don't. The problem is like there's not an answer. It's not like, oh, they're being turned into luxury apartments rapidly. It's like there's no solution for
Yeah.
all of this space.
But the value of the real estate hasn't come down at all.
I say TikTok facilities.
Just
can
training
go-
TikTok
There's
dancers.
dance teachers. There's friends. You can loan friends. You can be like, oh, I'm going to need to rent 5 friends today.
To do a
There's
dance.
different stunt rooms you can do. Just saying.
Because across all industries, whether it's retail, restaurants, the math doesn't work with the rents you have to pay. Only a handful of retailers can get away with it. All the luxury brand retailers can get away with it. But that's only so many retailers.
But here's the thing: is we're still living off like, take a city like L.A. or San Francisco or New York. How many e-com D2C retailers have businesses have opened up retail shops that are still around that don't make any money?
Those will eventually get smoked out.
But that's a lot of real estate they've taken in prime locations. You take places like LA on Abbot Kinney and Melrose, and all these like prime retail areas are filled with like shitty D2C businesses.
yeah, I still think, I'm just saying at scale, that definitely, there's definitely a bunch of those D2C retail. But if you look at scale, just high rent paying areas, like
think
even
about where Pier 1 Imports is.
no, but like if you think about Beverly Hills, so there's a retail bank branch almost on every block, right?
Yeah.
What works at Beverly Hills? A
big-
handful of nice restaurants and Rodeo Drive's luxury goods section.
Just make a
effectively.
bigger Louis Vuitton store. It would work. Triple the size.
I mean,
Yeah, but not in Nebraska.
No, but in those areas, here's my actual theory on like second, third, and fourth tier cities. So take places. Is Nashville second tier or third?
it's probably second now.
So second.
Pete says third.
I say third.
Shots
No,
fired to
Pete,
Nashville.
I say third.
Nice.
What's Milwaukee? I've never
Third.
been to Milwaukee.
It would be third.
If I consider Chicago a first tier city,
Okay, then
Yeah.
they would probably be.
second.
Nashville's
Second.
Second tier, right? I think there's actually a lot of opportunity in second and third tier cities to actually do retail, because there's so much wealth now in those types of cities, and they have populations, and retail is still relatively cheap. I know people who live there think it's high, but compared to what, like the space I pay for my run club, it's 400 square feet, 300 something square feet in an alley.
For $30K a month.
Yeah, that no one can even find.
Yeah.
It is so high.
Yeah.
It's nuts. And I think I could get a prime retail in Nashville and probably make a business work.
Yep.
So I actually think retail works in those other markets. It's just where it's screwed is LA, New York, San Francisco, where it just doesn't make sense.
Okay.
I think New York and LA are the worst.
Okay. All right. This leads us to our closeout, guys. We have our As Seen on Social segment where we just let our listeners know one cool thing or interesting thing or whatever that we've seen on social media throughout the week that they should check out. Dee, what do you got?
I saw Elon Musk saying Bill Gates and his conversations were very underwhelming.
Talking to him?
Bill Gates was on some YouTuber's YouTube channel talking about how big of an impact. He was actually talking about how straws don't make an impact, but like making everyone get into electric cars will have a bigger impact on carbon footprint, and that Elon Musk is doing a great job. But he bought the Porsche, I think it's called Taycan. Is that how you pronounce it? It starts at like 180 grand. And he's like, I chose to buy that. I don't think the car is affordable for the masses, but I really enjoyed that car.
That's what Bill Gates has?
Yes.
He's a little baller. That
yeah,
dork.
and then Elon Musk said, all my conversations with him have been very underwhelming. TBH.
Very Trumpist.
TBH'd him.
Yeah, TBH'd him,
Very
to
Trump.
be honest.
I like it.
And so I thought that was pretty interesting. I like the billionaire war.
I like
I
the
do too,
billionaire
TBH.
war, but Bill Gates is like a superhero now, solving diseases around the world.
Hey, I heard he's underwhelming.
Underwhelming TBH.
TBH.
Okay.
Listen, IMO. You know what that means?
In my opinion.
Okay. Millennial Word Monday. Just a little test. Just kind of keep you guys warm. Anand?
I have two.
Okay.
One, service dogs on airplanes has become a really big thing.
Yeah.
You go on any airplane, you're going to see some number of service dogs. You just get a doctor's note,
So
dog
annoying.
comes.
Number one, we need to regulate the dog size. You know?
Yeah.
If you're a little nervous, you need a little French bulldog or something, fine. If you're nervous and you need your
German
100-pound German Shepherd to keep you safe,
So this is going to
Get
upset
off.
you
Okay.
because someone brought a mini horse
on what?
on a commercial aircraft.
A miniature horse.
And the New York Post posted it, and it's been all over social today.
Let me tell you what, I have some experience with mini horses, and I'll tell you, they're mean, they kick, they bite, and they're not solving your anxiety, man. If you
No.
need a miniature horse to fly on a plane, don't fly on a plane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to draw the line somewhere.
It's insane.
Okay, what else?
The King has chosen to chime in on a subject. LeBron James went on Twitter today and was very outspoken about this whole Houston Astros cheating scandal, saying the commissioner needs to do more. The players have spoken. This is just an opinion of a sports junkie. I know it's not my sport, but I felt the need to express myself in support of all the players that feel they've been cheated out of titles, awards, and whatnot, and the commissioner needs to put down a heavier punishment.
Wow.
The
king has
king-
spoken. It's
You don't
time
want
to
the
act.
you don't want the king against you.
Okay. Mine is just a very lighthearted, good piece of content. It's about the other Aubrey.
Oh.
That is Drake. Snoop Dogg went on his, I think it's GGN is what it's called, the network radio show thing that he has, and gave a lot of very nice praise to Drake. And I think that, I'm a Drake fan, but it sort of became like popular to hate on Drake. And Snoop just said very like intelligent, nice things about him and his career. And he said that, look, Pusha T, went at him and beat him in the battle, but then he comes out with Kiki, Do You Love Me? And he's like 4 years from now when Pusha T's daughter's at her 4-year-old birthday party, she's going to ask her dad to play Kiki, Do You Love Me? And that's how you really win a battle.
Yeah.
And that he's lasted for so long and he doesn't miss. And it was just a very well thought out Drake praise. And I thought it was
I like
nice.
that.
That was nice because
I
Snoop has been in the press for saying not so nice things.
Not so nice things,
About
especially
Gail.
about Gail. Wonder what's up with Gail.
She's canceled.
I think she's like,
Yeah.
I mean, she'll come back, but I think like if she posted today, people would flame her again.
Yeah.
Well, leave Kobe alone, Gail. Good try. Way to try to get your clicks up.
Yep.
Okay, that's all we got. So 2-a-days. Listen, it wasn't so bad. I think we take a day off.
Come back Friday.
Much needed rest.
Let's get some much needed rest. My vocal cords are sore. We need to come back on Friday.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Listen, for everyone who listened to both episodes all the way through, we thank you. We love you, except for the Plastic Warrior. You're an asshole. because I know you're still listening, asshole. And I want everyone to go out to your local restaurant and demand plastic straws this week.
Yeah, do it for the people.
Do it for the people. Make the right move.
We have some guy from Texas that wants to ship us straws.
Yeah, someone's shipping us straws.
Yeah. He's just like, hey, I'm from Texas. I want to ship you some straws.
He's like, I ship my friends in California plastic straws all the time.
Is this a California thing?
I mean, it's big, and obviously in our part of town, it's very big.
Even in Madison, you can't really get them.
Wow.
Wow,
Yeah.
progressive, huh?
Yes.
Bunch of PHAT pussies.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We'll see you on Friday.